You heard our introduction. Before I go into my story, right, I was so nervous coming here today, but now looking at the crowd, almost all of you are within my age group. So it feels way much cooler. So let's start by doing this, right? Can all of you close your eyes? Just close your eyes. Just close your eyes. All right? Don't open till I tell you to do so. Now imagine this. In this instant, with your eyes closed, the first instruction I give you, your phone beeps. Take out your phones. Unlock your phone with your eyes closed. Imagine if I walked up to you and I grabbed you by your arm and said, "Follow me." How would you feel with your eyes closed? Or for the simplest thing, you need to go to the washroom. Can you get up and go to the washroom with your eyes closed? Just imagine how difficult it is, right? Okay, open your eyes. Let's do a bit of rewind and ask my father, Lechamanan, how it felt to be living his life with his eyes closed forever. Papa.
Thank you. I am Lechamanan here, been in the darkness for the past 60 years. I don't see anything around me. My friend is my radio. I listen to it, I motivate myself by the radio, and only that, nothing else. Then, by that, I was even in shedding tears. But I also, like you, about 15 years like that. I can move around, I'm in fact a sportsman. Then I lost my sight. I couldn't go anything, I was in tears, and that led me to depression. I went to mental hospital, took medicine, and they recommended me to the welfare department. The welfare department sent me to the blind school. There I studied Braille. Braille is an education for the blind where you learn with your fingers, all the dots. From there I come up, then I got a job. That pay was only $260 in 1979. So I have to earn more. In the evening, my wife and myself, my wife also a blind lady. So we both go out selling things. Go out, we sell things like tidbits, clothing, and some glass materials, ever silver things, and door to door. Knock the door and we sell things. On the long run, customers come to know me. They buy direct from me. They call me, not I go. But I continue with my job with the confident that I will do my job properly. That determined me to continue for the past 40 years. So
Okay,
today I'm on
let me interrupt him. So this is a bit different, because just imagine somebody with no vision, no sight, no sight. So for him to come up here to speak for 15 minutes, there's no reference point. You don't write. Everything has to be rehearsed in the mind. All right? Can you imagine doing the same job for 40 years? Day in, day out. You go into office, you are doing the same job for the period of 40 years. Impossible. I cannot believe doing a job for 5 years, the same time. All right? The same job for the period of 5 years. I've been working for 17 years now, and I've done more than 10 different jobs. So tell us, how do you actually do the same job day in, day out? What motivates you?
This is the question, the telecom, when I am a qualified operator. The telecom, why you like this job? The answer was, I don't like this job. I want a job. And that job is the only job for a blind man to survive. And I got into the job, I made a confidence that I will do it properly and determined that I will serve properly to the company, and that I come to up to 40 years now, I'm still continuing. The company has a trust upon me. If not, they would have get me out. I would say, handicapped person, okay, give tolong skate, then after that get him out. But here, the company still keep me, and I got my testimony say, you continue working as long as you can work. So that carry me weight to put an effort. Another thing, we work hard. We come across many people in the world. I travel around about 40 countries in the world. See, I talk to many types of people, all races. They come to me, they talk to me. But there are good people, there are bad people. Some will shout at me. Some even throw the letters on my face without realizing I'm a blind man. But still, I don't put up a long face. I don't put up this one. I just take it light and I continue. Today, I'm 41 years of working. God bless me.
Dr. Jess, the doctor who spoke earlier, spoke about learning, right? Learning. How gamification has changed. Gamification from the perspective of a blind man at the age of 76. So I came back and told my dad, hey, we got this invitation to speak at TEDx. And he's like, okay, what is TEDx? I said, we're going to speak at this university. Oh, university, no lah, you know. Then I said, don't worry, they're going to be publishing this on YouTube, and you can even watch your own speech on YouTube. So what I did, I got him a smartphone. Can you share with us what happened after I got you the smartphone?
See, when I completed my 40 years and the company awarded me, and my son was so happy the blind father can achieve, he bought me a smartphone. I don't know what is a smartphone, first of all. In fact, I didn't hold this phone in my hand. All I know, the Nokia phone. So he said, what for this phone for me? You just rub your finger all over the screen. You will learn. Then today, after about 3 weeks, I learned a number of things in this phone. So this is a good sign that you can learn things. There is nothing that you cannot. Everything is there for you, whether you want it or don't want. You have to go forward to take it. Nothing will come to you.
See, when I got my father the smartphone, I got this idea hearing another blind boy in University of Malaya who's doing his final year in law, right? Totally blind, doing his final year in law. And I got both of them together, and that scene itself was totally overwhelming. It was such a learning experience for me. Two people with no sight at all, holding a smartphone, nothing on its screen. All they were doing is tapping on the screen. They were just tapping, single tap, 2-finger tap, 3-finger tap. The phone would communicate back to them, and that's how they continued to learn. And that's it, I went off to Oman. Today when I come back after 3 weeks later, he says that, okay, I've learned how to make calls. And that just took 3 weeks. Imagine the potential in you. If a blind man at the age of 76 who has not been exposed to technology at all, only took 3 weeks to master the phone, a smartphone, what capabilities do you have in you? What potential do you have in you? All right? I've seen great achievers throughout my life. And I keep my father right up there. For one big reason. It's not difficult to be successful, but to replicate that success in another person, that's a different story, totally. Great leaders are people who are able to bring success in others as well. Let me now tell you my story. So that was his perspective, right? Successful. Imagine being the son of a blind man. It would have been a terrible childhood, right? Poverty. We grew up in the slums of Kuala Lumpur. Samping flats, Kenanga flats, you know. Vices, crime, drugs. I didn't even like to go to school. My father couldn't even check my report card. You can imagine how many times I signed my own report card, right? So life was just awesome. Despite their disabilities, my mother as well, the lady over here, also blind, both of them provided me very well. So I was well taken care of. And I was surrounded by awesome friends. You know, these are the thugs, the machas, you know, the gangsters, you know. It was all going cool until I dropped out of school. I failed my SPM. The result was so bad that government gave me the lowest ranking ever. Tidak layak mendapat sijil. It means I did not even qualify to get my SPM certificate. And I was like, okay, I came back. Most parents, you know, would shout at their children, would scold their children. But my dad and my mother did something very different. They went on that emotional, psychological attack. They said, it's okay. Failure is normal. Let's see what we can do. Let's try to rewind. Let's try to reset. And what my father said after that was, it's okay. I will get another job. Why don't you go and do a diploma in communications? Oh, that is the part that really, you know. If you had shouted at me, scolded me, okay, I'm the rebel, I fight back. But the moment a parent who is in this situation comes to you despite them spending all the effort for 17 years, hoping that you would do well, and you come back and you say that it's gone, I failed, everything gone. And yet at that point of moment, the father and the mother said, it's okay. Let's see what to do next. Now, that was the time where my life reset. There was an extreme reset in my life, and I said, fine, let's do this, okay? There are times in our life where we go on a clear path, all right? We have a clear path. And suddenly something happens, you drop off that path. There could be a failure, there could be disappointment. And many of the times, we choose to go astray. It was my father who brought me back and said, look here, let's do this, I need you to study. So what I did, I repeated SPM. Thank God I passed. I went into University of Malaya. Can you imagine? Failed SPM. Went into University of Malaya. Got into an industry where nobody wanted to go at that point of time. When everybody graduated from University of Malaya, I did a bachelor in mass communication, majored in broadcasting. So I wanted to go into media, glamour, right? But everybody was going into media. And that's where you make choices, options. I went into retail. So in retail, I learned how to cut chicken, how to cut fish. And today, after 17 years, now I'm the marketing manager for one of the largest multinational corporations in the world. I work in the Sultanate of Oman, which is a beautiful country, beautiful people, people who embrace me as family. Today, I also carry with me a very important role for all of you here, because I am also the ambassador for this country. Why do I say I'm an ambassador? Because when I go abroad to work, I'm carrying the brand Malaysia. I am perceived as a Malaysian talent who is brought to a different country to add value. And when I do well, it will open up doors of opportunity to Malaysians like you. And that is the responsibility that every single Malaysian needs to remember. When we go and work abroad, or when we work within the country collaborating with other nations, it is a responsibility that we maintain the name of the brand. And that brand is the Malaysian workforce. All right, so remember that. Now, so I've gone on that journey, right? So I reset my life, I came back and so on. But then we started asking myself, me and my dad started asking myself, okay, right, we are doing well now. What else? What else can we do? And that's when we thought, we have a story, and both of us are able to speak relatively well, and we felt that we could inspire others. So a few years back, we started this journey. We formed a social enterprise called Blind Sight. All right, so it's a self-funded social enterprise. Through Blind Sight, we are self-funded, by the way. What we do is, we go around the country, we speak to people like y'all. We try to inspire people who have fallen off the path that they were destined to be. Students that are at risk. Parents who feel that perhaps education is not the thing for my son or for my daughter. Perhaps they should go to work. And my dad feels that parents hold the key to the success of a student. Perhaps you could share, why do you feel that parents are the best?
We parents are the creators of the children. So every child that is being created have to get a good place in his life. We cannot just neglect the child, the child is born, what he wants, he has a good clothing, good food, good money to go around, that's it. Whether he study or not, I'm not bothered. Because I have no time, I'm going to work. You see, that's where the child goes on the wrong path. For example, my children, I am a blind man, they studied in the mind. I told them, no, I want you to study louder. Why? Because I know what you're going to read. What are you doing? That when they read loud, I know what they are reading. From there, I learn the mistake. I see what they learn, what mistake they are making. I correct that. And from there, they learn two things. One, the pronunciation of learning. One, to pay more attention to their memory. Their mind won't, scatter around. It will be there on the book. So this one. Another thing, parents must always look after the children. Where the child go, to with whom is mixing, How is his character? All that the parents must always look. Whether you go to work or not, that is immaterial. When you come back, you must look at your children. What are you doing today? With whom you go? What you ate? What happened? These questions make the child to come up in life. When the child come up life, then he is a leader.
Okay.
And the proud to the parents.
So this is a very unique relationship, father and son. But this is the guy who didn't let me watch cartoon, So he had strict rules at home. Despite being disabled, after 7, no cartoon. And those days during my time, no longer now YouTube, you watch the series, Netflix, no. It was at 7:30 p.m. where I would actually start to get watching the cartoons. At about 5 p.m. they will play Thundercats. They'll play the Transformers, the older version Transformers. So I was deprived of this entertainment. And in a way, it was that old school thinking and the rebel in me that made me to stray. But then, thank God, he brought me back. Today, children like you need to remember, I say this today out of experience. I'm not preaching. Today, I have a good life because I have the blessings of my parents. Today, I'm here to speak with you because of the opportunity created by my father and my mother. And I truly do believe, anything that you do in life, any great challenges that you take on in life, if you have the blessings of your parents, success will ultimately be yours. I just want to ask you a question. I, Lingeson, am his legacy. I am Lechamanan's legacy. My legacy could be perhaps people like you. The question that you need to ask yourself is, number 1, do you believe that you have the potential? Number 1, do you believe that you have the potential? Number 2, who will be your legacy? Thank you.